negotiated with the Democrats will extend another major lifeline to workers at struggling small businesses, etc. It was pretty clear, I think, reading between the lines, speaking a little bit of McConnellese from covering him for so many years, what he was trying to express there, and the message he was trying to get through there, that this wasn't just me, this was your team, Mr. President, so I'm glad we got this done.
Exactly. I mean,
well, they got to take it away.
To remind viewers
See?
at home that
So
the
what?
Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin
He got it done. We just know what the money, brother. I mean, out here we suffering.
But really over the last several months, and there was a real trust when Republicans got a deal with Democrats when they were delivering this to their rank and file members, that it had the president's backing because Mnuchin had been in the room. And when you walk the plank as a Republican member and you vote for a bill that maybe you have some concerns about, but ultimately you think is a step in the right direction, and you're hearing your president supports it, and then all of a sudden the president changes his mind a few days later and goes on a Twitter street against it, that's problematic for you, especially when you are a Republican member who whose base is going to follow President Trump wherever he goes. And I think that was the tension we've seen over the last several days in terms of lawmakers that I was having conversations with, very frustrated about the fact that the president seemed to have someone in the room negotiating for him and then backtracked off that deal. So McConnell's statement definitely highlighting that a little, Dana.
Whatever the case, he asked for $2,000, and the Democrats are going to go with $600, if I get it right.
Lauren, about the fact that absent from McConnell's statement was any
I'm
talk
glad
about
he
any
switched.
promise for a vote on the $2,000
Yeah.
stimulus check. But Lindsey Graham, who golfed with the president around Christmas, who tends to be a conduit between the president and his fellow Republicans in the Senate, just tweeted, Congress will vote on additional stimulus checks and repealing Section 230, which is about social media. That's his holdup on the defense bill. All wins for the American people. So Senator Graham is saying that there will be a vote in the Senate. But as you know, just because there's a vote doesn't mean it will actually pass. That could be what the president feels that he got out of this. A lot of behind the scenes.
Nothing. So what? We don't care about that. We the American people out here don't make big salaries. He got it done. He got something done. And also, why are we using the president's vaccine? I mean, he didn't get that done either, right? So no twists, no turns, you guys. If he got it done, and he said he wasn't going to do it, there's 5 days missing to sign it, was obviously because he wanted to make sure the deal was fair, but he was down for the 2,000, and he put pressure on the GOP to make sure that that bill would come through. And then he signed it when it was right. So credit to whom credit is due. I give y'all the last word. Now,
maybe not being able to make rent, maybe not.
Okay, watch him blame Trump now. Let's see.
But some is better than none. I think what you had here was the president doing a couple things. First of all, he's having to get used to the fact that government is moving on without him. And this
Okay, that's the first tear down, step one. No credit for what he just did, and no credit for the vaccine.
Signed it last week. He would have just been a rubber stamp, and this was his way of getting back to the center of attention. The other thing I think as we got into this weekend,
He didn't have the people
was
of heart.
this issue that if it had gone to tomorrow, with the unemployment benefits already lapsing, facing a government shutdown, and Democrats poised in the House to pass the $2,000, he would have put members of his own party in the Senate on the spot, and no one on the Republican side wanted that. So this is the president getting himself involved, making up some kind of negotiation, but really not changing the actual substance of what was delivered to the American people.
Okay, we'll
That's
see.
exactly right. And, we've been talking around this, and I want to keep going back to some of the specifics that are the things that are in this huge bill that is now law of the land. $600 going to individual adults with an adjusted gross income of up to $75,000 a year. The enhanced unemployment benefits, $300 per week, and aid targeted for small businesses, which the president talked about, $285 billion in additional loans back towards that, what was called the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, and funding for vaccines for states to help implement the vaccine distribution process.
Right, all of this is critical. The parties in Congress could not agree for months bare minimum of a deal, but then President Trump
Wow.
threw
One
a
channel
monkey
said
wrench
2,000.
into that plan
The next is
when he
saying
refused to sign the
600.
bill. And because we're up against the end of this Congress on July 3rd, there was no opportunity for Congress to, after the 10-day signing period, to pass it over his unsigned pocket veto, if you will.
Okay, so
Senator McConnell
this is what the American people can't stand. All this rhetoric, which one? He didn't sign it. It was 600. Is it 2,000?
Yeah, they want people to watch.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. One channel, and this is why I did what I did. One channel saying he did it, 2,000. The next 600. It's back to that.
They could have done this at any time in the last few months, and they could have done it at any time in the last several days.
Yeah,
Okay.
and as I said to Lauren, Senator Graham
Okay.
tweeted that Congress will vote on additional stimulus checks. We assume that's 2,000. We don't know what it's going to be, but it certainly is going to be.
Whatever it be, bro.
How the president's fellow Republicans.
If only 600 passed, they had to vote on it. That's the point. So again, Democrats didn't have to vote on anything talking $600 for a single taxpayer, what they just said. They could have said, oh no, they got to give more than that. So bottom line, if we only get 600, why would they agree to that? The Democrats. That's just my point. All right.